And we are live. Good morning, y'all good looking, happy, sexy fucking people out in Mugbook, Ain't YouTube, Zuckerberg land. I hope y'all are doing well today. My camera's a little bit off. Alright, we are trying to keep from fucking getting run over by assholes and idiots this morning. How are you? It looks like I got a viewer. That's fun. So I finally am in the vehicle and rolling down the road. And I was saying that yeah, I had to work an extra day this week, so I didn't get my full amount of rest over the weekend. As a result, I am unshaven, unshowered, and unshackled. Yeah. So I did get to watch Dark Journalist. There was a special Friday Night Live report, which is actually Saturday mornings here for me. But the schedule is all off just a little. So that's the way it goes. I explained the situation. We got a May Day vacation coming up. So we had to work an extra day weekend before the vacation, and then we'll work an extra day weekend after the vacation. That is called Boo-Ka. Boo means to supplement, and Ka means class. So those are makeup days, supplemental classes. We have got midterms this week, so all the kids are under the gun, feeling the crunch. I was under the impression that I did not have to make any midterms, so I didn't. And then it turns out I've actually got to give my AP language class a midterm. So I will just make some prompts, maybe with evidence, like a few sources, and then have them write a persuasive essay. So that'll be fun. Other than that, not a lot going on. I told y'all that I had a paranormal experience the other morning of April 23rd. And it's interesting too, because after I mentioned that, Charles Marlowe posted a link on one of my videos that introduced me to a guy named Thomas Sheridan. And then when I was over watching one of Thomas Sheridan's videos, the date April 23rd was mentioned in connection to I believe it was an Irish massacre of like some pagan witchcraft people that were put to death in order to charge this monolith that the power elite had built there. This was 600 years ago or something, but it was April 23rd. And then I was watching a video yesterday on Adolf Hitler's Mein Kampf, and April 23rd was mentioned again. And I thought, something going on with April 23. And I thought that's pretty close to both my maternal grandmother's birthday, my son's birthday, and my mother's birthday. Now, Sandra, I believe your birthday is the 27th, right? Or the 24th. I always get that mixed up. I think it's the 27th. That's what I'm going with. That's how I remember it. But you could correct me if I'm wrong. So, the paranormal experience of April 23rd. I lie in bed asleep, unaware of being asleep, until I was aware of being asleep. I came to consciousness in my dreaming state with the clear impression that I had been wandering throughout the cosmos. My vision came online, and I was surrounded by a fuzzy Stygian darkness, illuminated by dark matter. It was one of those astral phenomena, and I could tell you the difference between them. When it's a purely astral phenomena, it's as if you're floating on the astral sea. So imagine yourself out in space, or how you might imagine space, and you're floating with nothing around you. Stars are muted and just at the edge of your perception. So I'm floating on the astral when I became aware. And I'm looking around. There's no internal monologue. And my only thought is that it's getting close for the time of return. It's during those states, during that type of state, fully immersed in the astral, the body is translucent. I'm looking out and totally unaware of who I am. Just knowing that I've got a body, and I'm in my astral body, and I'm floating on the astral, and my vision just came online, and I think, did I get enough rest? So I'm becoming aware of gravity, and it pulls me down, and I stand before a mountain, and the mountain is dark, of course, because the only light is the light emanating from my own being, inside of my being. But I see a pool of inky darkness, darkness within darkness, that's darker than the astral sky or the mountainous, etheric, malleable, forming environment beneath me. But I can feel that gravity now. I'm no longer floating. I'm being pulled down and back into the world of the living. However, there's a cave before me that I know I got to go through this cave in order to wake up, to get back into the waking world. And so I approach the cave's off in the distance. I'm on the edge of the mountain. The mountain rises up before me. The cave goes into the mountain. As I approach it, I see before it twin pillars of radiating energy. They're gray. So they're brighter than anything else on the environment so far, except for that inky blackness behind them. So you got the mountain with the black cave, and then the twin pillars, Boaz and Joaquin. On top of those pillars, they're gray, are two spheres, a sphere on each one, of the whitest marble, beautiful white marble. And between them, between the two spheres at the top, there's an electrical charge. Now, hanging on the wall off to the left is a large, long, bat-like creature. And it's got its claws hanging on the wall. And it's of a darker gray energy than the pillars. The pillars are lighter gray. This creature is of a darker gray. And it looks over at me as I approach to enter the pool, the cave of Stygian, inky blackness in order to get back in my body. And it's watching me. It's got its claws up on the wall and its head turned. And in my mind, I am aware that this is the lesser guardian of the first gate. And so I see him standing there, not standing, hanging from the wall. And I think, oh, that's interesting. Who is this creature that standeth or hangeth at the left side of the gate of re-entry? And I don't know. But I dip past him and I go into the gate and I wake up. And I can feel, my eyes are still shut, so I can feel that Stygian darkness within darkness, the gate to all mystery, still around me, embracing me, charging me with an electrical charge. And I open my eyes, and they shoot to the clock. And what time should it be but 3:33 and 33 seconds? And I thought, a little too early to be getting up. So I lay there and enjoy the warmth. And I think, well, I should get up and write about the dream. Even though it was, it's just a very brief amount. I mean, imagine the amount of time it took me to become aware, my vision come online, descend down, walk up the mountain, see the creature, the pillars, go through the pillars and into the cave and then awaken. I mean, we're talking a minute, maybe, something like that. So I think I get up and I think, I'll write about my dream, but my mind is completely empty of any thought. And so rather than writing about it linguistically, I decide just to draw it in my notebook. So I draw out the scene and I draw it out, and as I'm drawing it, I can perceive that creature who is there. And I'm sitting in my kitchen, I got my notebook, and I perceive it hanging on the side of the building. Yet now it's watching me the same way. Its claws up on the wall and it's watching me. And I thought, oh, good God in heaven, how did the lesser guardian of the first gate get onto the side of my building? And now it's not a darker gray. Now it's like an albino, almost a luminous white. But its size is still quite large. In the dream, in reference to me, if I'm normal size, then it was about 5 meters in length. And if it opened its wings, they would probably extend to like 10 meters. So about twice, double the height of a man, and with a wingspan 5 times the height of a man, you know. Quite a creature. And I thought, God, if this creature's hanging on the side of the building, right outside my window, as I think about it and draw about it, still just observing me, I didn't feel any ill intent or positive intent or any intent of any kind, really. Just observation. Wow, that dude's going for it, man. Man, and I've seen that dude pull that same move in that same car so many times. That dude's out here at the same time as me. It's what kind of car is that? That is a Mini Cooper. And he drives like that to work every morning. He was doing, just now I was merging to get off, and he was probably doing about cream-colored Mini Cooper with a black top, probably the pop top, the top you can take off, so some sort of convertible. Anyway, he's in a Mini Cooper and he's doing like 150 or something, I mean 120 kilometers, which is like 80 miles an hour, 80 or 90, which is the speed on that highway, but not in conditions of traffic just like that, where everybody's going about 80 kilometers per hour, which is what, 50, not even 60 miles an hour. But I hear you, dude. I feel you, bro. Get your bad self moving along. Well, it says some Chinese person's in there watching me. Chang Jiayin. Chang Shima. I can't read it there. So if there is a Chinese folk out there, 你好吗？怎么样？我刚才就是讲一个梦见的东西。So let me finish before I do a Chinese translation. If you stay in there, so you can wave, you can say hi. If you got something to say, say it. So I'm drawing the picture of the creature and the environment that I dreamed about, and I perceive that it's outside my window in the reality, hanging from the wall of my building, watching me. And I think, that's curious. And so I throw open the shutters, the blind. I pull up the blind and open the window, and some sort of creature flew off into the night sky. And it looked like it was probably a bat, but it wasn't that big. It was like maybe the size of a cat. But in my dream and in my mind, this thing was giant. And I thought about the reality of even natural creatures, and then their expression in the astral and ethereal planes and on the spiritual realm is quite different. And I'll give you an example of this. Until recently, my mother had double yellow-headed Amazonian parrot named Sweetie Pie that lived with her and just passed away just recently. And Sweetie Pie would sometimes squawk really loud. And she was a lovely bird, but she had a somewhat abrasive nature sometimes. She was far from a Sweetie Pie. She was, those types of birds, they bond with one person, and then they'll only be nice to that one person typically. Some of them can be nice to more than one person, but typically that's the way they are. Anyway, point of the story being, Sweetie Pie will sometimes squawk really loud, like loud enough to hurt your eardrum. And I dreamed about Sweetie Pie dozens of times in lucid dreams. And sometimes she would torment me. But Sweetie Pie in the spirit world in Dreamland is not a small bird. She is the size of a Tyrannosaurus Rex. And when I would see her in Dreamland, she would be as large as a T-Rex. Probably about 35 feet tall, 10 meters, with a beak that could snap a car in half or could snap a motorcycle in half. She could use her beak to smash a windshield on a car. And I remember when I first saw Sweetie Pie, one of the first times I saw her in the spirit realm, and her true shape and size. I mean, her shape's still the same. She's just a bird, but her size, giant. I remember I was sleeping in my room, and I was sitting upright. A lot of times when you have lucid dreams, you're not lying down. Even though you're lying down in bed, you're sitting upright, or you're floating, oftentimes leaning forward or back, but you're usually upright. I was sitting in my room in Dreamland and working, sitting at my desk, and I was writing on the spirit world. So there are books and pens and, different kinds of things on the astral plane. And I look over at the window and I see this giant eye staring in the window at me, and I'm like, what the fuck? It shocks the shit out of me. And so what did I do? I increased my size above the house so I could look down onto whatever creature was staring in my window. And I see that eye, and Sweetie Pie lifts up her head, and she, spreads out her wings and greets me or whatever. And so I, boom, expanded myself spiritually so that I'm, taller than her, probably pushing 50 feet tall, and looking down on her over my house, little wooden house out in the country. And she's on the side of the house looking in the window into my bedroom where I was asleep. And her size is like 30 plus feet. And I was like, damn, Sweetie Pie, you are huge. And she's like, rah, 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 So, you don't know the spiritual size of a creature based on its earthly plane manifestation. Like I said, sometimes when I'm in the spirit realm, I can appear infinitesimally small. And it's because I haven't gathered a lot of chi energy. But when I gather a lot of chi energy, I have the potential and the power to be the size of a titan, a demigod. But animals like Sweetie Pie, or this bat that was in my courtyard and appeared in my dream, that's all they do, man. That's all they do. They practice Qigong and they concentrate their chi, and that's all they do. Is all. Who threw a rock? How? That car? Oh, a truck going by just threw a rock at my window. I wonder. It didn't sound like it cracked it. That's always fun. Get a cracked windshield from some dump truck flying by. I mean, there ain't nothing you can do about that either. Just pay for your windshield to be replaced. I don't see any cracks, though. So that was it. Not a super powerful, just a little flutter off into the sky. But it was a connection. So that creature had been hanging on the side of my building while I was asleep. And he or she had been penetrating into my dreaming world and was waiting for me by the gate of re-entry. And in its spiritual form, it was quite significant. But in its actual material form, it was quite small. I mean, that's still a big, pretty damn big albino bat that, you know, is the size of a cat. Wonder what kind of bat that is. A fruit bat, maybe? I didn't even know there were any fruit bats this far north. But there are certainly smaller bats. Oh, and here's another thing. Yesterday, when I was at lunch in the cafeteria, there was a bat in the cafeteria. I was on the second floor, and I don't think it was from an open window. I think it was from an open door. There was an open door. There was a door open downstairs. I later checked and found it. But I look over near the food area where I had, I didn't get my food from there. That's for the takeaway. I'd gotten my food from the dine-in area. But I look over and there's like this little bird creature flying around, but I know the flight pattern of a bat. And so at first I thought sparrow, but then I looked a little closer at it, and it was like, it wasn't albino, but it was gray. And it was a little bat flying around in the fucking cafeteria. And it flew off towards the stairwell, and I wasn't the only one that saw it. Lots of people looked around and saw it. Like, I mean, it had attracted the attention of several folks. And so I went over there to investigate, and it was gone. It had disappeared. I guess it found a place to hide out. But, so that's bat number 2 in 2 days. Very interesting. Anyway, I don't want to reveal too many secrets about my personal spiritual experiences, because they don't necessarily relate to you. And your own spiritual journey and experiences will be different than each person's experiences with the guardians of the gates, and learning their names is different. Oh, anyway, 333. So I sought out the name of that entity, and I thought, what is the name? So that's where I started on the video, and I found it, and I realized that there's a spiritual connection between that guardian and a lot of stuff. So I'm not going to tell you. If you know, you know. But if you don't know, then I'm not going to tell you. Because it, number one, it won't matter to you. And number 2, it's dangerous information. And number 3, I mean, if you're an initiated magician, you know exactly which entity I'm talking about. And it's kind of, I mean, it's scary on the one hand, because he's one of the most vile, or at least has been vilified oftentimes by the Christian church and the Catholic church as being one of the most vile demonic creatures in existence. But at the same time, it doesn't scare me, because I'm a magician, and he had no ill intent towards me. There was no animosity or negativity. It was just a matter of observation. He or she or whatever, just chilling. But it's good to know that that motherfucker was hanging around. And yeah, it's always good to know. So I you know, my magic is pretty solid, and I will do. I mean, what are you gonna do? There, you know, he's not bound to me. He's not trying to bother me. He's just happened to be there, and happens to be. And what baffles me, here's the thing: he's the lesser guardian of the gate. Fucking, I mean, and if that's like one of the most powerful demonic creatures in existence, and that's the lesser guardian, God bless, you better watch out for that greater guardian, man. So yeah, and if the lesser guardian is that innocuous to a magician that has done the proper work, purification, and defended himself against these types of creatures in the past. And I went to battle with 3 of them one night. A little different. Those are just servants of the guardians. They're not like, they're autonomous. The guardians themselves are sentient and sapient, whereas some of those the minions, they're not. They're mostly autonomous. Not autonomous. What's the word? Automatons. They're just automatons of that. What time we got? Oh yeah, we got a little time. I can wrap this video up nice and tight. I'm happy about that. I left a little early today because I want to stay away from the assholes and idiots. I remind you to sub Frank Monday on YouTube. Keep them subs coming in, y'all. Reach out to one of your friends and have them sub the Frank Monday channel. I mean, I got 150 subs, folks. I want to get like 150,000. If I'm ever going to be able to become a real-time YouTube personality, I got to have like 1 million subs, man, to pay the bills. Why don't you sub my channel, baby? Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up because I have arrived at work. Oh, that's some good tea right there. So, what did I get from all that? I got that a lot of the true spiritual work, the dream work, takes place without your knowledge of it. And occasionally, see, I had been focusing on the lesser guardian of the first gate and wondering, what was his name? What did he look like? How would I come in contact with him? And could I get past him with the amount of magical work that I've done up to this point? And yeah, that I got answers to all those questions in one like 30-second to a minute length of lucid dreaming. And the answers were, I was given the name, I was given I was given a visual, and I was given the go-ahead to come and go as I please. So that's good. That's good. When you approach the first guardian, you need to be confident in your magic. Because that motherfucker, I was reading up on him, and I listened to a couple of videos that other folks had done. He can be a terrifying creature. And not only can you lose your life, not only can he make you go insane, you can lose your mind to him. You can lose your life. So that's good. I'm glad I got past the first guardian. Happy news. And that's my paranormal experience. That's the way it went down. That's the best description I can give you. So you see how a 30 seconds, not even a minute, probably like 30 seconds to a minute of spiritual experience can be turned into how long's it been? Like a 30-minute video. And obviously I wrote it down in a couple of paragraphs in my journal, and it's like 1 page of material, but it could be more. If I include all of the descriptions of the visuals I saw, then it could be a little longer. It could be a single chapter in a book, just getting past the first gate guard. And that's what I do. I take that short spiritual experience and write it up, and then write it up a little further, and write it up a little further, until it's fleshed out enough to make a chapter in a book. Then it goes into the manuscript. And that's the way it works. So thank you to Charles Marlowe for dropping me the YouTube link of Thomas Sheridan. The Thomas Sheridan guy, he's fun to listen to. He's got a lot of spot-on magical knowledge. So if you are interested in the realm of Hermetic science, you might want to go check him out. His YouTube channel is called like Open Occult Sciences, something like that. I can't remember exactly. But Yeah. So I'm going to cut this video off, have my morning cigarette. Let us pray. Lord of the universe, the vast and the mighty one, creator of heaven and earth, maker of all things visible and invisible, we adore thee and we beseech thee. Grant us, including me, your humblest son, grant us that knowledge which you would have us know, so that we may get busy with the great work and get those things done which we must get done. Make us suitable receptacles for your divine gnosis. Day by day, inspire us to follow your path, dear Lord. I ask all these things in the name of your only begotten Son, Jesus the Christ, our Lord, and his beautiful wife, Mary Magdalene, Our Lady, and in the spirit of all gods and goddesses, and ancient and ascended masters, the divine immortals, the celestial ones, even in the name of thou prodigal Son, the light bringer. So mote it be, so blessed be. I'll see y'all good looking, happy, sexy fucking people in the future. Amen Ra, as above, so below, into the abodes of a new day. Kisses.